What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. You guys are in for a treat in this video. We're going to go to Detroit, nighttime sky. Somebody noticed some high-speed objects traveling in the sky above Detroit. Not one, not two, but 18 different very high-speed objects. Also in this video, I received some super cool photos from the recent geomagnetic storm of northern lights dipping way down into the central part of the United States. But first, over here at the homepage of the website, today's feature photo was sent in by Cassie out of Sebring, Florida. Really cool pano of the sky above Sebring. Checking in on the Schumann resonance, you can see there's been a little bit of activity in the last 24 hours. No major spikes. Coming over here to poweroutage.us, you can see multiple states experiencing power outages right now as I do this video. Mississippi 18,000, Alabama 10,000, Georgia just over 12,000, Ohio 41,000, down from 387,000 a few days ago. Pennsylvania 14,000 and currently 11,000, almost 12,000 in California. The power outages over here east of the Mississippi are a direct result of inclement weather. There's been a lot of high winds, especially up here south of the Great Lakes in Ohio, down here in the southern part of the United States, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. You can see all of the wind reports and hail. There are many hail reports on here, so many they're overwhelming the map. Look at that. 2.5-inch hail, 2.75, 1.50 are a common denominator through multiple states down here in the southern United States, but it was the high winds that took out power to multiple states. And again, those power outages are underway right now as I do this video. Checking in on the water content at Lake Mead and Lake Powell. 5 days in a row at Lake Mead, we've seen a positive change in the overall water content at Lake Mead, which is always good news. Going from Lake Mead to Lake Powell, they both sit on the Colorado River. Lake Powell has seen 13 days in a row of positive change in the overall water content. So the water content at both Lake Powell and Lake Mead are currently going up instead of down, which is always good to see. I want to take you guys now to Detroit, Michigan. Here we go. Multiple high-speed objects spotted above Detroit. These were in the nighttime sky. Video footage sent in by IM from Detroit. They live in the northern part of Detroit, and they were taking a pano of the city skyline at night, obviously, as you're going to see here in this video. And this is the original video that they shared with me. They go on to say, I was testing out the Mavic 3's new feature, night video, on 1/21 of 2023. And here we go. They start to do a pano on this camera when some mysterious aerial phenomena show up. They go on to say, I didn't get a chance to review the footage until March the 5th. So this was several weeks later. So the video footage goes back to January. It was edited here on March the 5th. So what we're looking at is not from March the 5th, it's from January. Let me pause it here real quick. They have some more notes down here at the bottom. I live in the Detroit metro area, just north of the city of Detroit. And as they continue panning right to left, here's another note. I was facing south at this point. You can see Detroit in the distance here. This is Detroit looking from the north to the south. And here in just a second, some sort of a light in the sky right there, that orange light. They point that out. As I continued to pan, I noticed a bright light in the southeast sky. That would be that one right there. And then these things start to appear out of nowhere. They didn't notice them at first. Let me back it up real quick. Then suddenly, at about the 50-second mark, I noticed some streaks in the sky. I've looked at this video multiple times, very, very closely, and as they point out too, what you're about to see cannot be reflections of light. If they were light reflections, they would be in the entire video, number one, because there's thousands of lights out here. And secondly, the camera is moving much slower than these objects are moving through the sky. So they don't have anything to do with lights or the camera or reflections. These are independent objects that were picked up by this camera. Here we go. Watch right here in the center. I had to zoom in really tight because they're very difficult to see from a long ways away. Look at that. There's 4 right there. They're tandems moving through the sky, and see they're moving much faster than the camera's moving. And they were really taken back by this when they started reviewing the video footage. They did not notice these when they were recording. They were like, what is going on? It wasn't a camera glitch as they moved faster than I was panning the camera. They seemed to come from nowhere and were traveling at a very high rate of speed. Yes, they indeed were. I zoomed in and counted 18 different objects. They counted 7, and if you don't zoom in, you don't see the rest of them. But I zoomed in very tight, found some more. I ended up finding 18 of these things as I zoomed in real close, and they were all traveling from right to left, and that would be west to east over the city of Detroit. Check this out. There's many more to see here. You can also see that the footage has not been tampered with by observing the cars that are moving at normal speeds. And that's true. And I haven't done anything with the video except move in on the objects whenever they appear. I zoom in real tight. And yes, you can see traffic moving in all directions down here in the city of Detroit. But here we go. We're going to look at some more of these objects moving at an incredibly high rate of speed. Here's a single right there. That's not a tandem. That's a single one that kind of has a green front to it. The front of that object, whatever it was green. Here comes 4 more. Check this out. A tandem there and a tandem there. 2 more came into the field of view, moving once again at an incredibly high rate of speed. Here's 4 more, 2 and 2. These are all different ones that I found in this video. And as they continue to pan the camera from right to left, that would be west to east, you're going to see even more come into the field of view here in just a second. And when they show up, I zoom in as tight as I can go. So get ready, here comes some more from right to left. These are also tandems. There's 3 tandems right here. 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. 6 in this frame. Look at that. Unreal. And these are unedited. I am going to do some modifications. Here's that single one here. This is a different one, though. Look at the front of this thing. It's green. How about that? And that was the only one that I noticed that was green. The other ones could have been, but maybe they were a little farther away, or maybe they just weren't green at all. Here is where I enhance some of the ones that were more obvious. Look at that. You can clearly see those are 2 tandems moving through the sky. I wouldn't even begin to know how fast those are moving. What, 1,000 miles an hour? 1,500 miles an hour at least? Look at that. There's 2 more tandems. And these are just in different formats. I was trying to pull forward any possible features or just get a better look at these things. And they did indeed show up a little bit better in some of these modified formats. This one here, I think, is the one that was green. Yeah, you can see the green right there on the front of that one. Really cool. And that's not a tandem. That is a single. Here comes the single again. This one had a green front to it, moving at a very high rate of speed through the sky above Detroit. Here comes the green one again. This is just a different format. It obviously doesn't look green in this format, but you can clearly see the light drag behind this object, whatever it is, in the video. I don't think it's actually like that in the sky. That's just a camera artifact. But these first lights are definitely there, and in some cases there's a tandem. There's a tandem there and a tandem there, and I think the one in the front is a single. There's 5 moving through at the same time. Here comes a tandem, and I think that one's a tandem. I think that was 6 moving through the sky at the same time. And as you can see in all of the segments that includes multiples, they're all staggered. See, this one here is in front of that one, and that one's in front of that one, how they're staggered, kind of layered away from each other. And here comes the duos in yet a different format. This one here is a dual as well, and that one's clearly a dual, a tandem. There's 4 right there moving through the field of view, and this is the same video in just a different format. 4, there's 2 and 2 once again, and I think those up there might have had a little bit of a green tint to them. It was hard to tell. They were obviously moving way too fast to pull out any type of specifics. And here comes another tandem. I think 2 tandems here. There's a dual right there and a dual right there just below it and behind it. And that one right there was pretty bright. Look at how fast those things are going. Moving way faster than the camera's panning, so that's not any type of a light anomaly associated with the lights on the ground. There's no way. They're moving way too fast. They're moving faster than the camera's moving. So if they were any type of reflections, once again, they would be moving at exactly the same speed as the camera. Those are clearly not airplanes, they're not Chinese lanterns, and they are definitely not helicopters. I don't know if those are some sort of drones or not. Didn't appear to be making any sound. The lights weren't blinking. and in some cases the light looked green. And in most cases they were traveling in pairs like you see right here. Sometimes they were coming through as one unit, and this is the one right here that had a greenish tint to it. So incredible video footage coming out of the Detroit, Michigan area. And going back about 5 days, we saw a geomagnetic storm that produced these incredible northern lights, northern Minnesota. Photos taken by Reed, sent in by Corey from northern Minnesota from the night of the 23rd at around 10:30 p.m. Look at the lights from northern Minnesota. Absolutely incredible. You would have thought these photos were taken way up at the 60-degree north latitude, maybe in the northwestern territory or over in Alaska. That looks like a classic photo from Alaska. That is northern Minnesota. Just beautiful photos, really and truly are. I received photos from Minnesota, New York. John sent this photo along with another one in from New York when the sky turned bright green, almost a fluorescent green, visible from New York. Here I just zoomed in just a little bit, but that's unedited. That's how I received the photo from John out of New York from the night of the 23rd. Paul from Ontario, Canada. More beautiful photos of the northern lights from the night of the 23rd of March. Check those out. And he said these photos were taken with a Pixel camera, and they are incredible photos, very clear, and the colors of burgundy and green showed up in the photos quite well. Bethel, Minnesota. Photo here sent in by Ben J of a bright green sky. Once again, photo out of Minnesota, where the northern lights were very visible in Minnesota on the night of the 23rd. Photo here from Lower Michigan, sent in by Glass Gato, and you can see the burgundy and green in the sky from Lower Michigan. Great job, guys. Keep the photos and videos coming. If you guys have any photos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports at mrmbb333.com. If you guys have any videos you'd like to share that won't attach to the email for whatever reason, come over here to the homepage of the website, look for this red tab that says Have a Large Video. Simply click on the red tab, drag and drop your video into the red banner. Please include your first name, date, and location, and I'll take it from there. Thanks for watching. Have a super day, and be safe out there.